week, JP goes over some recent gameplay from Team EG's InControl.
This week, we're taking a look at Jeff InControl Robinson of Evil Geniuses. Starting out in Brood War as a Zerg player, the 26-year-old InControl now plays Protoss in StarCraft 2. As an original member of Team Evil Geniuses, he now serves as the captain of the team. InControl is one of the best players when it comes to being in the spotlight. The current host of Inside the Game and State of the Game, and previous lead commentator of the NASL, he is anywhere StarCraft 2 is involved. Earlier this month, InControl crossed the pond to the Home Story Cup where many of his haters thought he would ultimately fail, but Jeff had other plans. InControl found himself besting the TSL3 winner Thorzane 2-1, and today we're going to look at one of these as we jump into the Metalopolis in this Protoss vs Terran matchup. Today's tip is short and sweet, but very effective against close spawns, especially close by air on Metalopolis. Let's run through the build order first before jumping into the why. So you're going to want to make a pylon on 9, chrono boost that 10th/11th probe out, followed by another chrono boost at 12/13 supply. Gateway on 13, scout with that probe to make the gateway. Make your gas on 14. Add in the second pylon on 15. Another chrono boost on your Nexus to get out that 15th/16th probe. Of course, make your Cybernetics core as soon as that gateway finishes on 18. And steal your opponent's gas on 19, but we'll get back to that a little bit later. Make your Stalker, of course, at 21 when that Cybernetics core finishes, and make sure you chrono boost it. Also, research the warp gate immediately after starting that Stalker at 21. Add in the robotic facility at 25. Then you're going to want to make 3 gates at 25. Make sure you save up the minerals for that. Of course, then chrono boost the Cybernetics core the entire time to get that warp gate research done as fast as possible. And then finally, you're going to want to make your warp prism on 26 when that robotics finishes. So here's where this build gets pretty fun. Go ahead and warp in 4 zealots, load them up in the warp prism, and wait for your warp gate cooldown. This is very important that you do this. You don't want to go dropping 4 zealots and then not be able to warp in anything else. You're going to want to make sure that you also have a forward pylon somewhere on the map. Earlier on, you stole your opponent's gas, and what this is going to do is make sure that he is always on 1 gas, meaning he can't get copious amounts of those high-tech units, like the Banshees, like the tanks, like the Marauders. He's going to have to decide where he wants to spend that gas. You're going to want to run that Warp Prism over into his mineral line, drop those 4 Zealots, warp in 4 Stalkers. You do this by, of course, making that Warp Prism into the Warp Prism mode. And you warp it in 4 Stalkers. And the big thing here is that you want to kill SCVs, but you also want to use those Stalkers to target down your opponent's Marines, tanks, Marauders, what have you. If you can do this enough times, and you might just be successful on the first drop, but you might have to come back several times, picking up some of those Zealots, moving them over to another side of the base, warping more units, coming back. But you've got to be constantly aggressive with this. You can even warp in some units on the outside of the ramp and start taking down his ramp. So if that Warp Prism does indeed fall, he's still going to be dealing with that, but you can send in units up his ramp and really get him back inside the base. Now, of course, this build does take great control. If your opponent is ready for it, you're really going to have to make sure that you get enough bang for your buck when it comes to units. But simply put, I mean, this build beat Thorzane for InControl, and it really caught him off guard. So guys, thank you for listening, and we will see you guys next week.